Welcome to Mrs. So's Math World. This week we will complete the sum of arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence. So at the beginning, let's introduce the meaning of summation of a sequence. Alright? So summation of a sequence means we will use one symbol to represent the sum of the first term to the nth term. Alright? And we must start from the first term. This one cannot be changed. Okay? So you can see that if it is S1 means you only have one term, that means just A. Okay? Then S2 means T1 plus T2, S3 means adding the first three terms, and so on. Alright? So if you take the sequence like 2, 8, 18, and 32 as an example, so let me magnify this. Okay, you can see that the first term is 2, that means S1 is 2. S2 is the first two terms, adding the sum of them, 2 plus x equals 10. S3 means adding the first three terms, that means adding 18 also. So you may choose to add 18 from S2, or you simply add all the terms again. So both are fine, it doesn't matter. So finally, S4 means you add all the four terms together, and then you can get the results to be 60. Okay, so let's give one more example for the usage of S. That means the formula of sum of sequence. Okay, so I know that if I want to add the terms, you can see that some of them to add. And then if it is S6 means we're starting from the first term to do the addition. Right? So this one you can get it to be -1 when you use calculator. Alright? But I have another question. What about if I only use the S? Use this formula. Okay? And then I want to add only these four terms. So, how to do that? Okay, the way is we can still use it, but this is a kind of way to help us to do. If I have 6 terms, but this one must be starting from the first term and so on, right? So S6 means a yellow one, okay? Yellow one, all of them, SX. With the S6, it means all of them, but I don't want to have 1 and 3 because I only want 2, 9, -10, and 4. Okay, so if I don't want them, that means we can use subtraction. Okay, the 2 means the green one. And then we can use it for subtraction so that you can get the result to be -1 because we already calculated, and then -1 plus 3. Okay, -1 minus 4, you see -5. Okay, so if you add these four numbers carefully, so you can also check that the result is also equal to -5. This skill is actually very useful, okay, so you may highlight this part for later use. So please take a moment to study example 2.1 yourself, which is similar to the concept we have discussed beforehand. Okay, so I hope you still remember the things we have learned in the last chapter. In the last chapter, we know that we have the general term Tn means a plus n minus 1d. Okay, and then this time you consider many times, and then we need to make the help of the general term. Okay, so this time we did not consider it as general term. It will be the last term of the sequence. Okay, So this one means the last term of the sequence. Okay, so whenever you use the formula, actually we have three things at the beginning. We have to know them before we can use the formula. Okay, so actually the question says if you have the A something, it's actually A plus D, okay, something, and then we get the last term to be L. Then, if I want to add all these together, the formula is to use Sn. So Sn here, you will see that means you have you see how many terms. You know it is n terms. Okay, if you know, so n divided by 2 times a plus the last term L. When you use it, remember it has to be a kind of arithmetic sequence. Okay. For some question, you may not be given the L. So if it happens, it doesn't matter. So if you don't know L, but you know this is the nth term, it is also fine. Okay, so this time you have the nth term. So if I know it is the nth term, then we put it inside. That means we know the D. If you know the n terms, you can calculate for D. Then you can know that it is n over 2 times a plus n minus 1d, because it is the nth term, the formula of nth term. Okay, but you may ask, Mrs. O, over there it says the formula is 2a, right? Because we can take these two terms to be added together. So you will get n over 2 bracket a plus a becomes 2a. And then plus n minus 1d. Okay, so it depends on the things that you have given from the question. Alright, so let's see on the next example how we work on it. Okay, so let's see how we use the information to do the questions. Okay, so for each time we need to check which kind of formula we can use. So we need to have the checking of a, the first term, and how many terms, d and l. Alright, okay, so in example 2.2 part A, you can see that for this sequence, you know how many terms of gap. We get the 15th term from the question, 15, and the first term is equal to 6. Okay, so for d and l, we only need to know only one of them. Okay, so d, from here you can see, which is 10 minus 6 equals to 4. Okay, so L, no need to check. Okay, no need. So let's see our step with the textbook solution. So you can see A equals to 6, D equals to 4. We know these two pieces of information. Then we know there are 15 terms together. So we have enough information to substitute inside, which is S15. That means you put n equals to 15 by using the second formula. Equals to 15 divided by 2 times 2a. Remember it is 2 plus n minus 1, 15 minus 1 times d. Okay, so you can make it in a very easy way. In the first few times, please draw a table like this to help you to understand as a kind of work. This time we goes to part B. So for part B, the story is pretty similar as before. Okay, as you can see, the first term equals to 3. This is part B, right? And then number of term, we don't know. Put a question mark. But we must state it. Difference, nu minus O. Negative 3 minus 3, negative 6. Okay, so that's why the textbook here gives you the step for these two. But we don't know how many terms are there. Okay, so if you don't know how many terms are there, that means we need to set up an equation to find the nth term. Okay, so this is the meaning here. that we use this piece of information to help us to find the nth time. So this one, Tn, or you say the last term, equals to negative 45. From this piece of information, and then after that substitute inside, then you can find out that how many terms are there. Okay, so this time you see there are 9 terms, so put n equals to 9 after the calculation. Alright, so after we have done so, then we can find out the detailed solution here. Okay, so as we know all the information, that means we know the 9, 3 and negative 6. So this time it depends on the things that you like, because this time you know the last term already. The last term is negative 45. Okay, and the upper formula, this one, a plus l times n divided by 2, is of course easier to be used, right? So that's why this time we don't need the d. We will use this formula to calculate to get the answer. So that's the end of this part of the lesson. See you in the next part.